Someone else is living in your childhood home. You know this. The house was sold, or given away, or your family left it years ago, and other people sleep in your bedroom now and eat in your kitchen and do not know your name. What the Office of Prior Occupancy Research needs you to understand is that the house still knows yours. Prior Occupancy Advisory. File number 026. Office of Prior Occupancy Research. Division of Dwelling History Events. Classification, Prior 6. This file was first opened in 1979 following reports from subjects who had undergone residential displacement, sale, eviction, relocation, and who subsequently described, across independent interviews, similar experiences, a persistent sense that the house they had left was still oriented toward them. Not memory. Not nostalgia. Something directional, something that continued after they had stopped thinking about it. If you grew up somewhere you no longer live, the office asks the following. First, note how often the house appears in your dreams. The office is not interested in ordinary nostalgic dreaming. We are interested in recurrence, the same house, multiple times a month, rendered in detail that does not degrade over time. Subjects with active prior 6 events report dreaming of the childhood home with an accuracy that exceeds normal memory. They remember details they had not consciously retained. The office believes the house is providing the information. Second, note whether you have driven past the house or considered doing so. Not to visit, to check. The urge to verify that the house still stands is documented in 71% of prior 6 cases. Third, note whether former occupants of the same house have contacted you without obvious reason. In 43% of cases, subjects report hearing from family members who grew up in the same house within 30 days of the office making contact. We do not believe this is coincidental. The office classifies prior 6 events as bidirectional. The former occupant is not simply remembering the house. The house is, in some sense, remembering the former occupant. This classification is based on reports from current residents of affected homes, reports gathered independently, without the former occupant's knowledge, in which current residents describe specific anomalous experiences in rooms where the former occupant reports the strongest attachment. A child sleeping in what was once the subject's bedroom, sounds from what was once the subject's room that current residents cannot explain. The office's interpretation, whatever a childhood home accumulates from years of intensive habitation does not fully depart when the occupant does. By the second year after departure, subjects with prior 6 events report a secondary symptom, involuntary returns. Not in person, in perception, walking in a different building and briefly, completely believing they are in a specific room of the childhood home. The sensation lasts between 2 and 12 seconds, is fully immersive, and is accompanied by the specific smell of that room. It is not a flashback. Subjects describe it as a visit. This is not sentimentality. This is not unresolved grief. This is not the ordinary psychological persistence of formative environments. The office has documented prior 6 events in subjects who did not have positive associations with the childhood home, subjects who left willingly, who had difficult experiences there, who had no conscious desire to return. The attachment is not nostalgic. It is structural. Something in how a space is occupied during formative years creates a relationship that persists independent of the occupant's wishes. Prior 6.3. Female subject. 42. The house she grew up in on Callaway Lane, Columbus, Ohio was sold in 1998 when she was 18. She reported to the office in 2011 that she had been dreaming of it at least twice a week for 3 years. In the dreams, the house was empty, no current residents, no family. But the lights were on in every room. She drove past it in 2012. The current residents, a family of 4, reported to the office's follow-up inquiry that they had occasionally noticed lights on in rooms they had not entered. The bedroom that had been hers was the most frequently cited room. Prior 614. Male subject. 55. His childhood home in Decatur, Georgia was demolished in 2003. He reported that his dreams of the house, which had been occurring for years, did not stop after demolition. They continued unchanged. The house in the dreams was intact. The office's investigator visited the demolition site. The investigators report, the lot is empty. There is no structure. The subject continues to dream of a house that no longer exists in a form that exceeds what his memory should be able to supply. The office has not resolved this case. We are not sure we can. The office requires the following. Prohibition 1. Do not attempt to re-enter the childhood home without the current resident's knowledge. In 7 documented cases, subjects who entered uninvited reported experiences inside the home that the office cannot categorize. Prohibition 2. Do not contact current residents to ask about anomalous experiences. In 4 cases, this contact precipitated the current residents leaving the home. What subsequently occurred in those vacant homes is documented in Form Prior 6C, which is available to office personnel only. Prohibition 3. Do not show children photographs of the childhood home without informing the office first. The mechanism by which prior 6 events extend to subsequent generations is under active investigation. The first classified report was filed in 1976. We have documented 2,144 cases meeting prior 6 classification. We believe childhood homes maintain a form of occupancy that persists beyond the original resident's departure. We cannot explain the mechanism. We can confirm that the house you grew up in is not as finished with you as you may have assumed. Think about the house right now. Think about a specific room. The office would like to know how clearly you can see it. File 027 concerns a vehicle that has been behind you on 3 different roads in 3 different days. That transmission follows.